Hey, I'm the composer and poet Andrew Lloyd Fry, and today I wanted to talk about my project entitled A New Kind of Air. So this is a two-part project. The first part is a collection of solo piano music, which has already been available, so it's been out for over a year. And the second part of the project is finally available, and it is the poetry book, also entitled A New Kind of Air, which is out now. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what this project is about and how these pieces kind of go together and some of the origin and stuff like that. So the piece started about 3 years ago, and I had been composing for quite a while, but actually very rarely written solo piano music. So piano is my main instrument. I guess you could say piano is my instrument, but it was always a tool unto composing, and composing was much more of what I did rather than like showing up as a piano player. And I just felt like, I should write some music for piano, and it felt really challenging because a lot of what I naturally do musically is very rhythmic. I thought of myself as like this very like orchestration rich person, and these stacking up of multiple rhythms and how they're interacting with each other. So it's kind of like I don't know if I can like do this, and like how would I make music that I like, that I feel is interesting, that I can play, and just kind of all of those challenges together. So somewhere along the line, it's like, I want to make some music, the piano music. I want it to be calm. I want it to be gentle. I want it to be soothing. And some of the context for that was a season with my wife of really, really extreme health issues. So just like days in bed. It's like it's hard to go to work because I'm worried about her being home with the kids. And this is like a year period of, I think, a little longer than that, just really scary, extreme health stuff going on. So somewhere along the lines, like, I'm gonna write this music for her, and it's this idea of just this really soothing presence in a really scary, stressful season. So that's kind of like how the piano music came about, and that's my release, A New Kind of Air. Now, finally, part two again is now available, and it is dealing with the same themes and the same context that the piano music is dealing with. So this is all about just this health crisis. So the poems are talking about things like there's an MRI scheduled, and the closer and closer we're getting to that, the crushing fear that I'm experiencing. And it's like we're driving, and that's just like exponentially growing, or driving home and you're like waiting for the results. Or poems about I'm at work, I'm a piano teacher, and I'm teaching a lesson, and the whole time I'm just thinking about, is my wife okay at home? It's a season where it's like, if I got a text message, like my phone buzzed during work, it's like fear response, I hope everyone's okay. Let's see. Yeah, so those are another poem is documenting my wife up at night struggling with the fear of death. And it's just like that was a very real fear, very constant fear for her in that season. So there's poems that are just very much like documenting what was going on, her experience, my experience. There were times where we'd have a conversation, and then I would just, that night or the next night, I would just take that conversation and turn it into a poem. So it's a poem called Laser Beams, just her talking about her kind of like emotional, mental state that day towards not feeling good, and just kind of, yeah. So there's a lot of that in there. The other thing that the book talks about is just kind of responding to what was going on for us in that season. So like things like the importance of hope, and what are you hoping in, and even this idea of like a level, there's like a hope in the situation improving. It's like, I think we should believe that you will get better over time, and that this isn't forever, and this, you know, this isn't a death sentence. I think we should have hope for that and believe in that. But also embedded in these poems is this idea of a transcendental hope. Is that the word? Yeah. That goes beyond the physical reality. And do we have any hope that's like, even in worst case scenario, actually I still have hope, even if I lose my life. You know, there's something beyond that I'm hoping in, and that idea of the two layers of hope, both in the situation and like bigger than the situation. So there's poems about that. There's poems about how much like being sick is actually like an emotional battle, and it's like there's this battle in your body, but there's also this battle in your mind, and how much are you fighting that emotional battle? How much are you winning that emotional battle? And how important that is. And you poems kind of talking about like, ultimately, like bigger picture, this is about like your head and your thoughts, and things like that. So that's kind of the middle section. So first section is a little bit more documenting. Second section is a little bit more response. And then the third section is more of a resolution. So gradually over time, her health did continually improve. And we're totally not in that season of health crisis anymore. So poems about, her being more active, poems about seeing these glimpses of like emotional brightness in her that I had not seen in a while, and just her being able to do things that she wasn't able to do for a long time. So this book, again, A New Kind of Air, is available now. Now one of the things I wanted to talk about is like we have the music and we have the poetry book, and it's like kind of how do these interact? Like, is the music a soundtrack while you read the poems? Like, do these like go together that way? And the answer is no, they don't. So it's just, here's music focusing kind of centered around this theme, and here's poems centered around these themes, but they're not, it's not like designed to like listen to the music while reading the poems, but they do very much go hand in hand. So if you want to check out the music, it's available on most streaming platforms, and on my YouTube channel. And if you want to check out this book, it is available on Amazon. All right, thank you for watching.